What's up everyone, you're very welcome to the Anfield Agenda YouTube channel. I'm your host Craig and this is our brand new daily news bulletin. I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be a shorter format than our usual content. I won't be interacting as much with the chat. I'm just kind of trying to get you the news. Anyway, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to start off today by talking about Adrien Rabiot. Adrien Rabiot, and you know I love a little bit of transfer news. Adrien Rabiot has been long linked to Liverpool Football Club. There's been stories going around in the last week or so that he's actually sacked his agent, who is his mother. And more rumours are starting to circulate online that this move to Liverpool may actually happen. When I talk about this usually in our streams, a lot of people say the same thing: where the hell is he going to play? And I completely understand that. But in my mind, you can never have too many good football players at a club. And if Adrien Rabiot is to make the move to Liverpool in the summer, do you know what? I'm going to be very, very happy about it. There's some things we have to take into context, I suppose, when we talk about this. There's the possibility that James Milner may move on. If Leeds get promoted, a couple of people feel that maybe James Milner will move on and finish up his career at Leeds. And look, we've always said we couldn't begrudge him that. Then we've got the whole thing about Jordan Henderson, which we will of course discuss in much more detail on tonight's show. Will Jordan Henderson be here next summer or next year? I think so. I think he will. But you've got that situation as well. You've also got the situation around the other midfielders that we have at the club now. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's working his way back from fitness. Fabinho is obviously doing amazing. Gino Wijnaldum's doing amazing. But as I said a couple of moments ago, you can never have too many good players at a club. If Adrien Rabiot is going to be leaving on a free, it's only going to be down to his wages and a signing on fee. I've always felt deep down that he'll end up at Barcelona. But I don't know what Barcelona's transfer plans are, so I don't know what way their money is allocated. One thing's for sure, I think if he does sign for Liverpool, a lot of Liverpool fans will be very happy with the deal. He needs a haircut though, doesn't he? Come on, too much long hair. He needs a haircut if he's going to come to Liverpool. He doesn't look hard enough to play for Liverpool. Look, we'll move on to the second thing, and something that I found very interesting today. Former Manchester City boss Stuart Pearce has actually tipped Liverpool to go on and lift the Premier League crown. Now, I'm sick of hearing things in the media saying Liverpool won't do it, Manchester City going to win the quadruple, just give them all the trophies now. All hail Manchester City, Pep Guardiola is the new Messiah. Well, he's not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy. I think you know what I've done there. Anyway, look, Stuart Pearce talking. He tipped Liverpool at the start of the season and he reckons that Liverpool are going to hang on, they're going to go and do it. And I hope he's right, because there's enough negativity for me going around the media at the moment regarding Liverpool. Trying to blow things out of all proportion around the Jordan Henderson thing yesterday. Talking about how great and how amazing Manchester City are and how there's 11 games to go and the bookies have them as favourites, yada, yada, yada. Look, as I said yesterday on the stream, the facts are the facts. There's 11 games to go for both teams. Liverpool have 6 at home, 5 away. Liverpool are 1 point clear of Manchester City. Manchester City still have to go to Old Trafford. I'm backing my team. Of course I'm backing my team. I'm backing them all the way. And I expect everyone else to do the same, if I'm being honest. Why wouldn't you? But we're in the title race. We're in the conversation. Getting to the latter part of the season. This is what we all wanted. Couple of other bits and pieces as well. James Milner was talking about the result yesterday at Old Trafford, and he admits Liverpool need to work on breaking teams down. Now, this is something that so many of you guys were talking about in the streams yesterday, and you're absolutely spot on. We dominated possession against Manchester United, but we never really looked like doing anything with it. Milner was talking and he said, we've got to look where we can improve when we've got the ball and teams are sat back. We've come up against this a lot this season. Teams showing a lot of respect against us with the players that we've got. That's something we've got to adapt to and work on how to break teams down. Around the box, we did manage to open them up as much as we'd like. They're a confident team at the moment and are well organised, so it's never going to be easy to break them down. But with the players we've got, you'd like to have created more opportunities. Now, again, over and over and over again, we've talked about this. Who is that player that's going to do it for Liverpool? Where is that creativity? A lot of people yesterday were hoping that Naby Keita was going to be playing and that he would be that link between the two. A couple of people as well wanted Shaqiri to come on. He did come on. Didn't really impact the game too much. And it all leads back to the same thing. We do miss that creativity. Sometimes you see Mohamed Salah coming deep to pick up the ball and then run and try and play those little intricate passes with Bobby Firmino. But his mate was off. Bobby Firmino went off with that rolled foot, which I'll come to in a minute, by the way. So there wasn't even that link there for the Reds yesterday. And it is frustrating when you've got the ball when we were, can I say we were on top yesterday? I mean, it's very difficult to say that, but we dominated possession, let's put it that way. And if anybody had the impetus to go on and win that game, it looked like Liverpool, although we didn't look like we were ever going to be able to do it. So it all comes back to the same thing. Where is this creativity going to come from? We had Shaqiri doing pretty well at the start of the season, particularly as an impact player. he's died down a little bit. We do have Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to come back, and that's definitely a bonus. He gives us a little bit of dynamism, some powerful attacking runs that we don't have at the minute from other players. So I do understand what James Milner's coming from, but it does nothing but add to the frustration of fans when we hear players saying exactly what we've been saying and exactly what we know, that they can't break down these teams at times, and it is frustrating as hell. One thing that I'd suggest, and something that I'd seen a lot of Reds suggest over the past week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, take more shots from distance. We're not pulling the trigger enough. Do we have the players to do it? I don't know, but take them anyway. All you have to do, take a shot. If it goes over the bar, so be it. Take another shot. The keeper might spill it. Anything can happen. Can take a deflection. If you don't buy a ticket, you won't win the raffle. It's as simple as that. We've got to start taking shots from distance. Now, I'm not talking about taking the piss here, but I am talking about those times where we get into positions and we're just playing the ball back and forth across the 18-yard box, trying to play little intricate passes around. That works at times, but when it isn't working, there's nothing wrong with pulling the trigger. Nothing wrong whatsoever. So, I'll be interested to hear, and I'm going to read out your comments in a couple of minutes, guys, what you think the solution to this problem might be if Liverpool are playing those low block teams. Do we have a solution at the minute? Is it possible for Liverpool to pick these locks in these very difficult games? We all know that one goal can open up a game, and a goal yesterday at Old Trafford really would have done that. We've got Watford coming up on Wednesday. Watford, a team full of confidence at this moment in time, coming off the back of a fantastic result against Cardiff. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. So, Bobby Firmino, we touched on him a moment ago. I'm going to give you my honest opinion on this one, and it might not be an opinion that people want to hear. The extent of Firmino's injury is still unknown, but I'd be amazed. I would be absolutely amazed if Bobby Firmino takes to the pitch against Watford. I'm sure you guys have seen the images. You've probably seen it yesterday during the game, but I'm sure you've seen the still images as well. When you roll your foot like that, from my experience from playing when I was a kid, and other people that have played that I know, when you roll your foot like that, the minimum you're going to get is a bit of swelling and a bit of bruising. And when you're talking about players at the level that we have now and possible strained tendons or ligaments, I'd be amazed. I'd be absolutely amazed to even see him on the bench against Watford. Now, this is just my opinion. There's still nothing come from the club. I've done a lot of searching today. I've searched everywhere to try and get a little bit of information on this. They must be waiting for the swelling to go down. Obviously, they've got to do scans and stuff like that. He left on crutches yesterday, we know that, but that's not unusual. That's a precaution that usually happens for players when they have any type of a leg injury. It's not unusual to see them leaving the stadium in crutches. Bobby Firmino is very, very important to this Liverpool team. As I said earlier on, he can be the link between Mohamed Salah and getting that strike. He can be the player that links up the play between the forwards. He sometimes himself can come deep, and we know what he brings with regards to work rate and a press. We also seen how bad the drop down was when Daniel Sturridge came on yesterday, or Divock Origi. With all due respect, I think Origi was the better of the two when he came on. It was clear that there's a massive, massive difference in levels between Bobby Firmino, Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah and anybody else that comes on. And that's something that we certainly need to address in the summer. And we're all hoping, praying and wishing that Timo Werner is the person to, make that difference. You can't argue with it. We can't argue the fact that having no Bobby Firmino on Wednesday is going to make it more difficult to beat Watford. But at the same time, it's a chance for somebody else to step up. It's a chance for somebody else to make a name for themselves. And I hope to God somebody does it, because we need nothing less than 6 points from these next two games. 6 points with 9 games to go then will make it look very rosy indeed for Liverpool, and will certainly pile the pressure back onto Manchester City. As I said, this is just my opinion on Bobby Firmino. Don't take it as a fact. Don't take it as a gospel that he won't play on Wednesday. It's just my opinion. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, guys. Ian Turlington there, just reading his comment, said if it's strained ligaments, it'll be 2 to 3 weeks, which is not news we want to hear. But, Ian's probably right in what he's saying there. If it is strained ligaments, and just strained mine now, 2 to 3 weeks, and 2 to 3 weeks at this part of the season is difficult. It's very difficult indeed. Who would you like to see fill in that spot for Bobby Firmino, guys? I'll get to it at the end of the stream. Who would you like to see fill in that spot on Wednesday if Bobby Firmino can't make it because of that injury? It doesn't look great on the still images, but we all know still images can make things look worse than they are at times, particularly when it comes to the fouls and handballs and stuff like that. On injury news, actually, talking about our opponents, and I just spoke about the pressure being piled back onto Manchester City, it'll be interesting to see how long Laporte and Fernandinho may be out for Manchester City. As I'm sure most of you guys are aware, both picked up injuries during Manchester City's League Cup final victory over Chelsea yesterday at Wembley. Laporte went off, I think, at half-time with what looked like a hamstring injury, and Fernandinho went off in extra time with a groin injury. Now, both these players are pivotal to Manchester City. So just to kind of sum up their importance, no outfield player has played more minutes for Manchester City than Laporte and Fernandinho this season. Nobody. The keeper has, but no outfield player. Laporte has played 3,110 minutes for City and Fernandinho 3,024 minutes. We also seen what happened to Manchester City when Fernandinho was out with an injury over the Christmas period. They dropped points. Nobody ever wishes an injury on a player. Of course we don't. We're not that type of people. But the injuries have happened. Will this affect Manchester City? I believe it will. I believe you're going to see Liverpool stretch out their lead over the next couple of weeks in the Premier League. And City have a lot of fish to fry. They have their fingers in a lot of pies, as we know. They've got the FA Cup, like ourselves. They've got the Champions League as well. And they have 11 Premier League fixtures to get up to. So any little bonus that we can take, I'm going to take. If it involves other teams' players getting injured, well then so be it. We've had injuries ourselves and I'm not crying about it. We should have a big enough squad to cope with any injuries that we have. But if we've seen our blip, and if we get through this blip, and it's been a very difficult period for games for Liverpool as well, Manchester United, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, it hasn't been easy. And of course we've got the Merseyside derby against Everton coming up on Sunday. On that one, I've had a few messages from people saying, Craig, look, please don't keep on with this arrogance towards Everton on Sunday. You do know that from the last 7 games at Goodison, excuse me, we've had 5 draws and 2 wins. Look, my answer to that is simple. It's my job on here to wind up Evertonians. It's my job to let them know how irrelevant that they are. I find it fun to trigger Everton fans, as of course I do. I'm a Liverpool fan and they're forever trying to become relevant, and I love, as many of you guys do, just slapping them back down and bringing them back to reality and letting them know that no, you're not relevant, and no, we're not worried about you, and that we will go there and pick up 3 points at the weekend. And that's my job. Don't take it seriously. Don't take anything I do seriously. I'm here to have a bit of fun. Sometimes I wind people up. I understand that. I also get a lot of abuse, but I'm a big boy and I can take that. But just bear in mind that that's our job as Liverpool fans. All Everton fans and Everton as a club want is to be on par with Liverpool. And it's our job to let them know that they're never going to be. They're just never ever going to be. Yeah, so it's interesting to see which one of the players are going to fuck up this weekend and hand the impetus back to Liverpool again. Will it be Jordan Pickford? Will Richarlison pick up a red card? I don't know. But anyway, look guys, I'm going to come back in to see some of your comments from the chat before we finish up today. We need Felipe Anderson, somebody says. That's interesting. Salah as striker, Shaqiri on the wing. Easy. Shaqiri on the wing, yeah, look, it's an option, but is Shaqiri good enough? Is he good enough in 90 minutes to make a difference? We've yet to see that so far this season. And before I move on tonight, guys, this afternoon, I just want to say, don't forget, we're going to have Mark Goldbridge from the United stand on tonight with us at 9 PM. So I hope you can join us for that. Well, myself and Mark are going to have a conversation around the game yesterday at Old Trafford. It's fair to say neither of us will probably be happy with that result yesterday, but we'll have a conversation about it anyway. We'll ask Mark how he's feeling about the rest of the season. Of course, we'll discuss how United are going to move forward, how Liverpool are going to move forward, and it's always fun to catch up with Mark, so I look forward to that at 9 o'clock. I will also be back with Holden's Happy Hour tonight at 10 o'clock, and yes, that is the new name of the show. Holden's Happy Hour or Humpty's Happy Hour. You guys can decide. I need your help on this one. Should I call it Holden's Happy Hour? Should it be called Humpty's Happy Hour? Obviously Humpty Dumpty because I look like an egg. See? I'm playing into it here. Gomez, I don't know when he is back. LFC 123. Is Everton starting the Black Cat? There's rumours. There's rumours he might make an appearance. I wouldn't rule it out just yet. City will piss the league, says Leicester City pool boy. If people think Manchester City are going to piss the league, brilliant. I look forward to seeing how it pans out, ladies and gentlemen. We're top of the league. I'm going to keep saying we're top of the league because we're top of the league. Anybody who wants to come at us with anything else, we're big, ugly and bold enough to take it. Liverpool are top of the league. Remember that. Remember that if you're a Manchester City fan, if you're a Manchester United fan, if you're an Everton fan, if you're a Spurs fan. You all want to be where we are, ladies and gents. We're top of the league. Lost 1 game all season. All our most difficult away games in the top 6 finished. 6 home games to finish the season. You wish you were us. Tell the truth. You can open up here. It's just me and you. You wish you were us, don't you? You do. Tell the truth. Go on. Go on, go on, go on, go on, go on. Anyway, what have we got to finish up? I'm going to the Watford game, so Brandon Kelly, I hope you have an amazing time. Humpton Holden's happy hour. It's just too long, October. You need a shorter title than that. Do you think Keita is overrated? Absolutely not. And on Naby Keita, that's probably a good point to finish this stream. On Naby Keita, no, I don't think he's overrated. And yes, I do think he will become the player that we think he will be at Liverpool Football Club. A lot of Liverpool fans have been starting to show a bit more love to Naby Keita over the past couple of weeks. And that's brilliant, because we are starting to see glimpses of the ability that he has. It was lovely to see yesterday in the watch-alongs and the streams that we did that people wanted Naby Keita to start, that people were disappointed that Naby Keita wasn't there. Now what I will say is, building up to the game, we all assumed that Manchester United's midfield was going to be Matic, Pogba and Herrera. I think that's fair for all of us to assume. Now, the change came at the last minute with McTominay, and Herrera went off injured, and the game worked out as it worked out. If Jurgen Klopp had have known this in advance, he may well have put Naby Keita in. None of us knew going into that game what was going to unfold. Yes, you can talk about making changes during the game, and I'm sure the manager tried to do that. But people were moaning at me because I was saying I was happy to go back on top of the league. People were saying, coming at me and saying, Craig, we should have won that game yesterday. We could have won that game yesterday. Yes, we could have. But what I say to you is, all week, in my head and on these streams, I've said that I was expecting to leave there with a 1-1 draw. So in my head, I had that point, and that point was putting us back on top of the table. Perspective. That's what I'm trying to say here. I understand people that were disappointed, but perspective is very, very important. Liverpool did what they had to do. They got the point to put us back on top of the table. It's in our own hands. The pressure is back on Manchester City. Could we have won? Yes, of course we could have won, but we also could have lost. A couple of things. 6 inches for that offside decision. The ball that went right across the 6-yard box towards the end of the game, Chris Smalling could have gotten on the end of. That amazing save from Alisson from Lingard. All these things could have sent us the other way, and we could have been sitting here today having a conversation about how we lost to a Manchester United team that was put together, that was patched up, and that had made 3 substitutions in the first half. One of them a substitution of a substitute. So I'm just trying to say, look at it in that perspective, guys. Always try and be positive. I'm always positive on here. I always try to be positive. I think you know that about me by now. Was I disappointed we didn't get 3 points? You bet your ass I was. You go to Old Trafford, you've got a chance to take 3 points. Of course it's disappointing. But in the grand scheme of things, it leaves it in our own hands. And that's all we can hope for in this. This is going to be a difficult run-in for the rest of the season. We've got 6 at home, as I said, and 5 away. I'll take it. Difficult games coming up. We've got Spurs at home, we've got Chelsea at home, and then we've got Everton away on Sunday. They're going to be big games. They're games that could possibly decide the season. United will also have a say in this. They've got Manchester City coming up at Old Trafford at the end of April. A game that could well have a major significance for Manchester United's top 4 charge, and of course for Manchester City's Premier League title aspirations. Guys, look, if you could do me a couple of favours before I read a few comments and we finish up here. As you can see, we're only 16 subscribers off 9,000. If you can hit that button for me and subscribe to the channel, that will be very much appreciated. Drop a like on the stream as well, and turn on the L notifications, because as I said, we've got 2 streams coming up tonight. Mark Goldbridge joining us at 9, and then Holden's happy hour at 10 o'clock. Right, a couple of comments to finish up today's stream, and thank you for joining us. This is a bit of an experiment for us, because we're going to start making these smaller bits of content, because I promised you guys, I promised it to you. You gave us your feedback. We listen as always. It's your channel. We try and do what you want us to do. We're always aware that people haven't got 90 minutes or an hour at night to catch up with stuff. So we try to do these shorter ones now. I'll try to do them daily, but if there's nothing to talk about, I won't do them. But you'll always see them scheduled, so keep an eye out on the notifications. Follow your joy, sir. Thank you very much, Liz Golden. Hey Craig, will you play Shaqiri instead of Mane? No, not instead of Mane, because we probably won't have Bobby Firmino. So we're already 1 man down, so it'll be difficult to replace 2 of them. I wouldn't mind Origi playing out there though, personally. If we didn't have Firmino, I'd probably give the nod to Origi, because I didn't see anything from Daniel Sturridge, where Origi I at least seen some powerful running and some direct intent from him when he came on. What else have we got? What's happened to Firmino? Joanne, he rolled his ankle, as we touched on a little bit earlier on. He passed the ball yesterday, studs got caught on the ground, and he rolled over the top of his foot. At the very least, I'd expect some swelling there and a bit of bruising. But what else have we got to finish up? Benjamin next superstar. I don't know what that means. If only we had Brian Torres. Well, look, we don't, and we are where we are. Look, ladies and gents, I think there's probably not much else for us to go through on this afternoon's stream. There's not really much news coming out of the club as of yet. Sturridge is rubbish, said LFC Easy Man. It's probably a little bit harsh, but he hasn't lit it up this season. But at least he stayed injury free. There is always that one. Werner and Bergwijn needed maybe Fekir because we need creativity. I think we can probably all agree that the Fekir stuff is done and dusted. We've had 2 windows now, 2 opportunities to find Nabil Fekir. The first one it came close, but the club backed away for whatever reason, and I don't see a change, and I don't see them going back in personally. Werner and Felipe Anderson, again, Ferno on that one, mate. Felipe Anderson is absolute quality, but to bring him in from West Ham now would cost an awful lot of money, wouldn't it? I mean, Premier League club to Premier League club, we do know that they tend to cost a little bit more. Anderson has done bits this season, there's no doubt about that, and he is proven quality. Guys, Leicester City FC Boy is in the chat there. He's on a roll towards 600 subs. If you want to subscribe to him, help him out. Obviously, with Leicester City at the minute, they are talking about the managerial situation. They're looking at Brendan Rodgers, perhaps. Interesting stuff there. So if you want to head over there, support the fellow channel, support a really good guy in Anthony. LCFC Boya, Boya is his name. Please do give him a sub. You can see him in the chat there as well. Look, ladies and gents, I think we shall pretty much leave that there today. A 30-year-old man has been arrested for the attack on the Manchester City fan, said John Hayden. John, thank you for that. That is actually a very good way to finish up the stream, because I was hoping somebody was going to get done for that. We spoke about this on a previous stream, and I'll reiterate it right now. All our thoughts and best wishes are with Manchester City, their fans, and the family of this gentleman who was attacked over the game in Germany during the week. There's no place for this stuff in the sport. I want to reiterate that. At times like this, there is no such thing as fan rivalry between me and other English clubs, or us and other English clubs. We are football fans first and foremost, and we stick together on these things. And I sincerely hope he makes a full recovery. I really do. I know he was placed into a medically induced coma to try and ease the swelling on his brain, and all our thoughts, best wishes, hopes and prayers are, of course, with that gentleman, his family, and on all Manchester City fans and staff members, of course. Look, guys, as I said, I'm going to leave it there right now. I will be back at 9 o'clock with a review of the game with Mark Goldbridge, and again at about 10 o'clock tonight for Holden's Happy Hour. Thank you so much to everyone for joining us on this first afternoon stream. Don't forget to drop a like on the stream, hit the subscribe button. As always, I'll end by saying up the motherfucking Reds.